Troops on the street corner control grid with domestic spies everywhere, with millions of Americans being taken to forced labor camps. It is in the bill. New legislation authorizes FEMA camps in U.S. All right, let me go through a summation of the basic facts and then go through details. A, this is not new. Quietly, since the 1970s, they have accelerated, reopening the old World War II prisoner of war camps, putting in new water and power, keeping them updated and ready. Then under Rex 84, part of it was declassified in congressional hearings, covered in my film Police State 2: The Takeover. But you can just Google Rex 84 FEMA camp hearings, Congress, and it will come up from 86. In 1990, our insiders in the military told us that the base closures were going to be used for infrastructure protection to build federal control grids that will be local regional capitals over the states and the cities and counties that reside in them, threat integration centers, FEMA command centers. Years later, exactly what our inside sources told us turned out to be 100% accurate. Secretly in 86, under Rex 84, they said we have to train cadres of Army personnel, that it's normal. The first conditioning is of police and military, cross-training them, militarizing them, teaching them the public's the enemy. They set up 12 secret federal prison camps in 1986. You can just Google Civilian Inmate Labor Camp Program. You will be on the Army's own website. This is now declassified. And they report it like it's no big deal, where they take federal prisoners and now state prisoners. They've expanded to 24 camps and growing. Remember, with my research, it's only up to the point that I last researched it. And it's such a large area to research that most of my news is about a year old because it only comes out later. Our intelligence is massive, but it's all going to be integrated through my brain, and so I'm not perfect. So it's far worse than I'm saying. That's the bottom line. So secretly, people who said they couldn't have these secretly, on record, the Army admits secretly from 86 to 97, for 11 years, the Civilian Inmate Labor Camp Program, these are labor camps, was kept secret. Then in 97, they declassified it. The Army runs them under the Department of Federal Prisons. And to beta test it, what they would do is they would tell the prisoners, we'll let you out a few years early if you sign this form. It's contract to agree to go to the camp and to be quiet and not tell family about it. That's how they beta tested and trained the troops. That, oh, it's normal. The prisoners like it. We don't talk about it. It's classified, but they live here at camps, American citizens, federal prisoners. Then they began in 97 when they declassified it to bring in state prisoners. The number of camps stands at over 24. Now the reports are confirmed, pouring in. Multiple camps in Texas, camps all over the nation being built. Again, the Houston Chronicle reported, and other publications in 2006, that they were building FEMA camps for natural disasters, emergencies, terror attacks, to house illegal aliens, and during civil unrest. That was in the Houston Chronicle. All these decades, we've seen the troops secretly training with the military. We go to the events, we get detained, we get in trouble, we get chased. In some cases, they let us tape it with role players they've hired screaming, I'm an American, please I'm not the camp. Where'd you get the helmet? Where'd you get the gun? You know, you're going to a FEMA camp. Where are you from? I'm from San Francisco. The role players with the Marines, with the Army, doing this. Other cities, the Marines walk up, the Army walks up with guns, with the police, says, turn your cameras off, to myself and others. It's all in Road to Tyranny. It's all in Police State 2000, Police State 2: The Takeover, Police State 3: Total Enslavement. So I'm screaming bloody murder about this. I'm finding out there's this giant covert operation under continuity of government, under infrastructure protection. I find out from police chiefs, emergency managers, the SWAT team commander in Austin, Lieutenant Beck, the police chief of San Antonio. I'm giving you sources here. These are sit-down interviews on video. Ale Philippus, chief of police San Antonio, emergency manager in Kingsville, Vietnam vet himself, who was in intelligence, They came to him and said, we're getting ready for martial law. They tried to buy him off with cash. When they said no, suitcases of cash. We went to other cities, interviewed police chiefs, where they'd clearly taken the money, and they said, we're not going to talk to you, but yes, U.S. military is here in secret operations. So I began intense research in the 1996-97 on all of this. And I start warning people, they're gearing up, they're gearing up. People say, well, why hasn't it happened this year? Why hasn't it happened next year? You know, Alex, you're saying all this is happening. You show us video, you show us documents, but where is it? They were building the infrastructure. That's on record. They were finding out which counties, which cities, which officials would go along with them, which wouldn't, which preachers, which pastors, which mayors, which city managers could be promoted to regional government because they would play ball and go along and take the payoffs, or the payoffs of advancement, or suitcases and briefcases full of $100 bills. This is a Northcom operation. Northcom is in the military literature in 1993. It was not founded in 2002. It is the true government, the military jurisdiction over North America. They've signed deals with Canada and Mexico to use Canadian and Mexican troops here in the U.S. Toronto Star, other publications. Congress bitched last year saying we weren't even informed of this. You're supposed to inform us of this. Again, there's hundreds of points. I'm moving quick here. All of this is going on. All of this is happening. We warn the public they're training the Marines and the Army. The Navy's even creating their own private army. That's in the Navy Times. Private mercenary armies. We tell you those are being prepared. Foreign troops are being prepared. They announced in the SPP Banff Canada 2007 meeting that it's a secret operation and that it will be funded by the carbon taxes and off the NAFTA highways, and that they will use military in each other's countries in the North American system under Northcom. Canadian and Mexican generals then serve and liaison with Northcom. We're in the North American Union. This is seizure by foreign offshore banks. This is a corporate takeover, but they know it's illegitimate, so the people may say no to it. So they've got the military and the police state grid and the federalized local police and local state police to oppress the people when the public finally finds out they've been made destitute in the continent their forefathers conquered. Now, once they build the infrastructure, once they've beta tested the infrastructure, once they've trained the local police, the states, once they know what counties and cities are their friends, because a lot of the training is taking over U.S. cities and counties and courthouses and mock cities for the U.S. with role players as early as 1995, 96, 97, cooperative nugget with foreign troops training with role players screaming, don't put me in a camp. You understand? And these won't be foreign troops in foreign uniforms. These will be foreign troops in U.S. uniforms. But you notice U.S. uniforms have now been standardized to match the European uniforms. This is real. This is really happening. Now, the big issue is how will they sell the public on going along with it? Phase one, build the camps, build the FEMA infrastructure, set up the training centers, create the core cadres, find out who will work with them. Expand it. Phase two, set up InfraGard. 25,000 executives, bureaucrats, governors, city managers, county commissioners, corporate heads with sidearms, and this has come out in mainstream news. You can just Google InfraGard, with shoot-to-kill orders on anyone they're told to kill during martial law. So you have an auxiliary of executives. In the next phase, and it's now begun, they're training their designates and quadrupling the number from 25,000 to over 100,000. That's what we know of. Armed auxiliary federal civilian forces sworn to national security in every corner of the United States. And the feds even stage little terror attacks and cover them up in the news and say the public would panic. You've got to be part of this secret stuff. And the idiots, most of them aren't evil. They go, oh, yes, the terrorists hit our power plant. We can't say anything. When it was the feds with a pipe bomb.